when I get emails that are just information, they're just kind of spouting stuff at me about, how I could do better in my business or, some kind of strategy or a statistic or something about the step-by-step process of doing something, that really doesn't interest me or excite me very much because I know for a fact that everything needs to be tested in my space. Like what works for other people won't always work for me. And so it doesn't motivate or inspire me. And the way I work is I want to be just really engaged and interested in the next task I'm about to do. And so when I'm subscribing to email lists, I wish there were more people telling me the behind the scenes, the things that they've achieved, and how they've achieved those things, the real the humanity behind it all. And, in the day and age we're in right now, that is needed more than ever. This is a way I've been doing my own email marketing forever. Since the beginning of doing email marketing, I haven't been doing it the way I see other people doing it. A lot of people do weekly newsletters. That's something that doesn't make sense to me because I'm sending my emails as if I'm speaking to a person. I'm speaking to a friend, and I describe it as letters from Angela. And it reminds me of when I was a kid and I had a pen pal and I would just share whatever, just talk to that pen pal on the other side of the world who I knew some things about. And I thought she'd be interested in some of the things I had to say. And so a lot of people are not approaching email marketing with this kind of attitude. You're giving people just this generic surface level, you don't need to know who I am kind of information. But people want to know who you are. They want to know why you're doing what you do. They want to know how do you stand behind what you offer. And the more you can do that, the more you can connect, the more you can have them feel, data and statistics and strategies and processes don't make me feel anything, and that for they don't make me want to take any action. And so I get really bored. I opened an email today and I thought, blah, blah, blah. Like it's just words. And ChatGPT can just write words. So, how are you connecting with people? And I know this feels like I'm being, just kind of vague. Um, so, let me give you an example. I've been sending emails out to my list about how it's going over here on YouTube. I don't have like a real plan for why they need to know that, but I know it would be interesting to them. And as a matter of fact, it is because I've been getting more replies to those emails than anything else. I've been telling them, like, I'm doing an experiment. I'm excited about it. I just made a video. These are things I've been saying. I said, I just made a video where I may have cried, and so there's feeling in this. And I'm opening up to really connecting with the audience through YouTube and also through email. And so it's very similar, actually, YouTube and email. Like I'm just showing up here, I'm being open and honest and sharing, what I'm doing, why I'm doing it. And I'm sure I'll share with you more stories about my life and things as they become relevant. But today I wanted to share with you it's not about having the perfect thing to say in email. So how does that translate into sales? I guess would be probably something you'd be wondering because you're like, okay, well, sure, Angela, I can send people emails. I can send my friends emails. How does that make me sales? It makes you sales because you are connecting with people. They're starting to like you. They find you interesting. So you're not just sending boring content out to them. They find you as a person interesting. So they're connecting with that. You do want to tell them ways you're qualified to teach and give them actual information as well. So I'm not saying don't include any of that, but don't include just that, right? So I am going to tell people about how I send one email a day and that that works and what I do in those emails. And so as I explain these processes, people like me, they're engaged with my emails, they're opening, so they're being exposed to the messages I have all the time. It's a daily email, it's a daily message. And so because of that, when there's an offer that matches what they need, I don't need to have a big launch. I don't need to have an expert copywriter. I don't need to have the best subject lines. I'm just showing them what I have on offer, and this is what we want. We want to create an environment where people are just really quite impressed with what you do and how you do it. So you have to have skill sets. You have to have something to offer, right? You have to have some, if you're selling something, it needs to be of value and built on something substantial. So when it matches, they make the purchase. And that's how it works. It's how I make sales through those kinds of emails. And more, it's hard to tell. I mean, it's not really that hard to tell. If they just straight copy it from ChatGPT, you can tell. But if they've, mostly used ChatGPT and made it sound like them or trained ChatGPT to make it sound like them, then you're not going to know if a robot wrote it. But if it has things in it that are only something a human could write, only from experience a human could feel, then that is going to just be so much more authentic. People want authenticity. There was just a recent backlash for the McDonald's fake video, and people buy McDonald's anyway, but they didn't like being marketed to in a fake way. And so McDonald's said, we won't do that again. So that's my advice for you today. And as with everything I offer, this is not advice for everybody. I'm neurodivergent, I have ADHD. So that advice is going to probably work best for people like me, for people who don't want to, you know, keep their personal life completely out of their business. And I don't know if that's only neurodivergent. Maybe there's neurotypical people who are happy to share, and I'm not saying share private things, but you can be personal. You can say, I love my favorite coffee is. That's a personal antidote, right? That's not private. I mean, unless there's something private about your coffee order, or you could be like, I like the beach. That's not private. You're not telling them what beach you're going to or anything that's, you want to keep private, but it can be personal and that creates a connection, sharing what you like, what works for you, why you're doing what you do. These are all very important pieces. So if you want to learn more about email marketing, I do have my 1 email a day masterclass. I'll put the link in the description below, and you can check that out if you would like to. There's also all kinds of blog posts on my site, and there's also lots of other YouTube videos because I have been posting 1 video a day here as well. So I hope that's helpful to you, and I'll talk later. Bye.